Hello everyone. Today we are going to demonstrate how to use Navigo to plan trips. We'll also learn how to find stops and schedules, print them, and search for different routes. How about we get started? From winnipegtransit.com, click on Plan a Trip with Navigo. You'll be brought to the main Navigo page. Now you may be going to this page a lot in the future, so you might want to bookmark it. Navigo is designed to give you step-by-step scheduled trip instructions from your origin and destination points. The Navigo interface is simple to navigate. Why don't we start by writing in our origin address in the box that says "From where?" Simply click on it and begin typing. Now, depending on your browser settings, you may have an option that says My Location. Clicking on that will automatically populate your current address. However, there may be some situations where your origin point is not the address you currently are. For now, we're going to type 421 Osborne as our current origin point. You'll see that addresses will start to populate as soon as you start typing in the address. Go ahead and we'll click on the proper address we're starting from. Now, I hear there are some good sales going on at Polo Park. How about we put that in as our destination? We'll click on To Where and start typing in Polo Park. You'll see that Navigo will bring up anything with the name Polo Park as an available option, including stops as well. Let's select Polo Park Shopping Center. Now that we have our origin and destination locations put in, the next step is figuring out the date and time we want to plan this journey for. The default option will always be to leave after the current time. In other words, this is a good option if you're looking to head to your destination immediately. In this situation, you'll simply click Plan your trip to start planning your journey. Now, there may be situations where you may need to leave before or arrive at a certain time. Clicking on the Leave After button here gives us a few more options. Leave Before lets you schedule a trip where you leave before a specified time. Leave After is the default option. This will automatically start your trip leaving from the current time. Arrive Before allows you to specify a time you'd like to arrive to your destination by. This is great for appointments or your work schedule. Finally, Arrive After lets you input a time and will only show you trips that have you arriving after that time. You'll probably be using the Leave After and Arrive Before options the most. The great thing about Navigo is you can also plan out journeys in the future. You've told your friend about the sale at Polo Park, and now they want to meet you there for 10:30 a.m. this upcoming Friday. Let's go ahead and select Arrive Before, as we want to meet our friend before a certain time. Now we'll click on the Now button, and a calendar will come up. Start by selecting the date our appointment's on. So in this situation, we'll select Friday, and next we'll select the time we want to arrive before. We're going to select 10, and then we're going to select the minute sign, 30, followed by the OK button. Now you do want to make sure you're selecting AM here. You'll see there's a PM option on the side here as well too. Now if you do have difficulty with the clock interface, you can always click on the keyboard button to type in the date and time instead. You'll notice the Help button here. That'll give you additional trip planning instructions as you go along through this screen. Finally, the Walk and Wait settings drop-down bar will give you several options that will allow you to customize how Navigo plans out your trips. Now we're going to go over these settings later. Finally, we've given Navigo our origin and destination point and time and date. It's time to look at our options. Let's click the Plan Your Trip button now. Now we will see the different route options we have to choose from, along with the map showing our origin and destination points. The great thing about Navigo is it's all about giving you different options to get you to where you want to go. In this scenario, there are 5 different journeys presented to us to get us to Polo Park before 10:30 a.m. Now, in order for us to select a journey that makes the most sense to us, it's important that we understand what the options, icons, routes, and times represent on this page. The first things we'll see on the top are the Modify Request, Plan Return Trip, and replan trip options. Modify request will bring us back to the first page and let us change the origin and destination and change trip times. Plan return trip is useful when you want to figure out your return journey at the same time. It will automatically populate a return trip with the origin and destination swapped. Remember to adjust the date and time when planning your return trip. Replan trip is similar to the modify request option. It lets you select a specified starting point and adjust your origin and destination from there. Now beneath these buttons are the 5 different trip options Navigo has suggested. Let's break down the information contained in a trip suggestion. The first thing we'll see is the date of our journey. Next to that, we'll see the start time. Now this is from you leaving your origin and the end time when you arrive at your destination. This also includes any time spent walking or transferring. The number to the right is the total time of your complete journey. Underneath the time are the bus routes associated with each journey. In this example, it's telling us we'd be taking the F6 and Blue Line buses. The next thing we'll see are 4 different icons that tell us a little bit more about the trip. The bus icon represents the total time you'll spend on the bus. If your trip has more than one bus, this number will be the total time combined. The person icon shows the total combined amount of time spent walking. This can include walking to your origin stop, walking to a transfer stop, and walking from your destination stop to your actual destination. It's important to note that the walk time is only an estimate for an average adult. If you're a slower or faster walker, you may want to leave or depart a few minutes earlier or later. To the right of that is the hourglass symbol. This represents the amount of time in total you'd be waiting for your transfer bus. Now, if this is a direct trip, or there isn't any waiting time between buses, the number here will be 0. The last symbol is the transfer symbol. This number indicates the amount of transfers required to take this journey. So for this particular suggestion, we can see that our journey is on July the 11th. We'll start at 9:50 a.m. We'll end at 10:29 a.m. It'll take us 39 minutes. We'll take the F6 and Blue Line buses. We'll be on the bus in total of 20 minutes. The total time spent walking is going to be 11 minutes. The total amount spent waiting for a transfer will be 7 minutes. And lastly, there'll be 1 transfer involved in the journey. So we've now learned what the symbols and times represent for each journey. To get exact step-by-step directions, we can click on the View Trip option on the bottom, or click anywhere in the box to expand the trip. Let's take a look at our expanded trip in more detail. You'll see the journey now completely filled in with this particular bus journey on the map to the right. The left-hand side is going to give us step-by-step directions to get us to our destination. Starting off from the top, you can see that we're leaving our origin point at 9:50 a.m. and walking 2 minutes to the bus stop. This also shows the stop location, direction, 5-digit stop number, and the bus number and name. This is handy for stops that have multiple bus routes going through them. Following along with the trip, it tells us how long we'll be on this bus until we need to transfer. You can see that it's telling us we'll be riding the bus for 8 minutes, and next it shows that we'll be arriving to the transfer point at 10:01 a.m. To the right of this is the stop number and location we'll be getting off at. The journey shows we need to walk 1 minute to get to the westbound Portage at Colony stop, and then wait 7 minutes for the Blue Line to arrive at 10:09 a.m. This shows that next we'll be riding for 12 minutes on the Blue Line and getting off at the westbound Portage at Tilehurst Polo Park stop at 10:21 a.m. From there, we'll be walking 8 minutes to the Polo Park Shopping Center, just in time to meet our friend at for 10:29 a.m. You can also print, pin, or share a trip option. You'll find all these by clicking on the More option at the bottom of the trip. Pinning a trip will allow you to highlight or pin this particular trip to find it easier. This will be useful if there are multiple journeys you have to choose from. Clicking on the Print button will allow you to print off the entire journey, including the map and all the individual steps. Have a friend or family member who wants to follow along with your trip? How about you're planning a trip for somebody else? By clicking the share button, it will create a link to the trip page that you can send in an email or message to somebody. Navigo has a number of settings that can be fine-tuned based on your own personal preferences. You can find the Navigo options menu by clicking on the three lines in the top left corner. Navigation will allow you to access different parts of the Navigo website, while the My WT section allows you to customize your user experience a little bit more. The sign-in option allows you to link your Navigo account with your Apple or Google profiles. This allows your favorite stops, routes, and Navigo trips to carry over across multiple devices. My Favorites will display all of your trips, stops, and routes that you favorited. You can remove these from your favorites on this page as well. Just click the heart or the favorite icon to do this. The Show Me section at the bottom has a number of different informational links related to transit. This includes news and information, Transit Plus, service alerts, and more. We'll go into the settings now on the My WT section. The app theme setting allows you to customize the theme of Navigo to dark or light mode based on your preference. Language will allow you to change to French or English. Some sections in Navigo are also compatible with built-in browser translators for other languages. However, your trip results will only display in English or French. The next few settings influence your journey suggestions in Navigo. How fast you walk will change how Navigo calculates your walking time for trip suggestions. By default, this is set to average, but you can also change this to slow or fast. If mobility is a concern, or you don't mind walking for longer periods, you can adjust the how long are you willing to spend walking answer. Navigo will only recommend suggestions with total walking times under the number set. This number includes all parts of your journey, including the walk from your origin to your bus stop, walking from transfer points, and walking from your final stop to your destination. You can adjust your minimum wait time with the next question. If shorter transfer times give you some anxiety, you can specify a minimum amount of time you have to wait for each transfer on a trip. The last Navigo related question impacts the amount of time you'd like to wait for each transfer on a trip suggestion. By default, it is set to 15 minutes, but depending on your preferences, this can be extended to whatever you'd like. Navigo will automatically reload schedules every minute to stay up to date. If you don't want this, feel free to switch the toggle to off. If you use Transit on the go for real-time stop updates, adjusting the stops number will change how many stops in advance you'll be notified of your incoming bus. To get back to your previous screen, click on the arrow in the top left corner. Let's talk about the other features of the Winnipeg Transit website, such as find stops and schedules, and explore routes. We'll take a look at the stop sections first. Now you can access this page, just like Navigo, by going to winnipegtransit.com. You can also download the Winnipeg Transit app. From our website, you can also click on stops from the Navigo main page. Now all options will look and work the same, really either way. If your location settings are on, you'll see all the stops in your immediate vicinity when accessing this page. You can also find your stop number on a physical bus stop sign, as well as by zooming in on the route map on Navigo, just to the right here, and clicking on a transit icon. These icons represent nearby stops. Alternatively, you can also search for stops. Let's try and search for City Hall, and then select nearby stops to see what comes up. We can now see all the stops in the immediate vicinity of City Hall. We can also search by cross street as well. We already know our stop number, so let's enter it in. After searching, we'll now see our stop, with the location and all the individual routes that service this particular stop. Now, if this is a bus stop you'll frequent often, you can click on the favorite or the heart button to save the stop. Stops you save will show up without having to search for them in the future. We can access our saved stops by going back to the search option, clicking on the My Favorites button, and then we'll see the stop that we favorited underneath on the list below. From here, we can click on View Schedule to see all the buses that stop at the location. By default, it will look for now, but you can also search for schedules at a later date and time. If you click a specific bus, let's say the F6 McGregor Osborne in this scenario, you can either pick Go Live, which will give you live trip information 10 minutes prior to the scheduled arrive time. Now, this helps you view real-time stop schedules and is helpful if you're on the move or accessing via your mobile device. Clicking on the trip schedule option will display upcoming times and stops for this particular bus journey, including previous and upcoming trips. Explore Routes is where you can view a route's map, timetables, destination service, and print the route schedule. From winnipegtransit.com, click on Explore Routes, or the Routes option on the top navigation bar. When you first access this page, you'll see all the routes in your immediate area if your location settings are on. Routes on this page are organized by their line type. Click on the type to show all the associated bus routes. You can expand or collapse the categories with the arrow button here. Under the Search for a Route option, you can also type in a destination or intersection to view all the bus routes in the immediate vicinity of that location. Just like before, you can click on the heart symbol or the favorite button to save any route into your My Favorites section. You'll be able to access these routes by clicking on the My Favorites option on the top of this page. Now that we've learned how to find routes, let's go ahead and search for one. We'll search for the F6. After we've typed in F6, we'll click on the View Route button. That's going to give us some more information regarding this route. We can see that it's a frequent route. We can also see the options for details, points of interest, and stops. Details is open by default and shows the operating hours for weekday, Saturday, and Sunday services. If we'd like, we can print the entire route map from here by clicking on the Print Route button. The Points of Interest button will show popular destinations on the bus route, while Stops will display all of the stops on the selected bus route. Let's take a look at the stop schedules for this route. We'll go back to the Details button, and from here, we'll select Weekday and then click View Timetable. What we can do from here is start at either end of the bus route, depending on which way we're going. We're going to select South St. Vital. From here, we'll get all the stops and what time the bus will arrive for this schedule. Note that the route timetables are similar to our older printed schedules, where they only show stop times for certain stops or timing points on the route. We can see that in this example, the F6 bus departs Templeton and Salter at 6:40 a.m., arrives at the Legislative Building at 7:05 a.m., and makes it to St. Vital at 7:25. If your particular stop isn't listed on the schedule, you can either look up your stop for the exact time it will arrive or estimate based on the amount of stops proximity to your closest timing point. If we want to print, we can simply click on the print icon for a printer-friendly version. Note that timetables are divided into weekday, Saturday, and Sunday options. If you are looking to print schedules for every day of the week, you'll need to select each option individually and print the stops. For convenience though, You can find these options right on the top of the screen here. Thank you for watching the video. We hope you've learned more about how Navigo works and are ready to start planning your own trips. Have any other questions about Winnipeg Transit? As always, you can contact 311 for all of your Winnipeg Transit inquiries, day or night.